Alright, what's happening? How's everybody doing today? My name is Chuck, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 classes to be able to use in all of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. These classes have done a lot of work for me, and let me actually just put a little proof to the pudding and show you guys my stats. So as you guys can see, I do have a 2.75 KD. It says my score per minute's a 240, but I think that's definitely glitched out because on the COD website, it says like a 360, 370 something. I don't know why that is. A 1.5 win-loss in around roughly 5 days of playtime. So I definitely have a good amount of stuff here, and of course my highest kill streak is a 63. And you guys have seen some of my other videos where I've dropped nukes and kill streaks and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, these classes definitely work. If you guys could do me a favor and smash 3 likes on this video, that'd be absolutely amazing. And also make sure you guys hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, so that way you do not miss out on any of my future videos. So that being said, let's jump into these class setups. So I'm going to be working with you guys here on this basically just from top to bottom custom class loadout 1 all the way down to 10. So as you guys can see here, my very first one is going to be an M4A1, and I think this is just kind of something everybody should have on their class. Just briefly, let me go over the perks. I kind of run a lot of perks universally, which happens to be kill chain, restock, or tune-up, and then sometimes I'll switch out kill chain for something like EOD. That's kind of like my other go-to, especially since they moved kill chain over from perk 2 to perk 1. And quick fix is also actually a pretty viable option, so there's like 3 options that I do run in my tier 1 slot. But as far as my attachments go, I am going to be running the monolithic suppressor. I'm going to run the Corvus custom marksman barrel, the commando foregrip. I have the 60 round magazine, and then I do have the stippled grip tape. I know you can run a few other things on here, like a stock or an optic, or maybe like a different, like a perk of some sort, like sleight of hand. But to me, honestly, I just find like using the monolithic suppressor, you know, that's like my go-to suppressor on every single gun all the time. And just having that, you know, in combination with the barrel, giving it that little bit extra, you know, damage range, velocity, recoil control, having it all that. And then the commando foregrip is, it's just so good for recoil stabilization, and it doesn't affect your movement speed and stuff too much. And then obviously you gotta have that, you know, that magazine there to get those extra rounds down range. I think that's pretty standard. And then of course you want to be able to aim down sights faster and have your sprint to fire speed be faster, especially if you like to be an aggressive AR kind of like me. Let's move on to class setup number 2. So this is going to be the PP19, aka the BIZON. So right now, actually, my class setup is set up specifically because I was playing Shipment. I dropped like 150 kills yesterday playing Shipment, so that was pretty cool with the BIZON. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'll take off the 84 round mag there and put on the monolithic. So this is what my class setup normally looks like. I have, once again, the monolithic suppressor on here. I have the 8.7 steel inch barrel. I think this is by far the best one to be able to use. I've had great success with it, so I found no reason to change it up. I don't run a laser or an optic just because you don't really need to. I do run the Corvus skeleton stock because it helps your aim down sights walking speed and also your aim down sight speed, which is definitely awesome when you're having an SMG. I do have sleight of hand because I love to rush around quite a lot with it. The stippled grip tape, just obviously it helped with my sprint to fire speed, my aim down sight speed. And last but definitely not least, you could definitely switch out maybe the monolithic for, let's say, maybe throwing on the 84 round magazine. I did that because once again, I was playing Shipment, like I said, and I mean, having the 84 round mag when you're playing Shipment is definitely super useful. But otherwise, if I'm playing 10v10 like I normally do, it's gonna 100% be the monolithic suppressor. This is an incredible setup, and I would highly recommend, if you guys are an aggressive, you know, SMG player, you want an aggressive SMG setup, to throw this on. You will not be disappointed. Next up here is going to be my Kilo 141. I'm running the Regal Retribution. I have an interesting setup here at this one though. So once again, we got the monolithic suppressor on. Like I said, it's the best suppressor I do believe in the whole game. I don't think you really need to use anything else. I don't have a barrel, no laser, or no optic, and I'm actually running for the first time on any of my classes no stock, and that's you guys will see here in a little bit, but it obviously helps your movement speed and your aim down sight speed, and I like to be an aggressive AR player. So no other perk, but I am going to run the stippled rear grip tape, obviously ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, that's super useful. And I'm running the 100 round magazine, so not the 50 or the 60 round magazine, the 100 round. And the reason I have the no stock and the stippled rear grip tape, especially as it counteracts, you know, the cons here, which is the aim down sight speed and the movement speed, you know, because you have 100 rounds in your magazine, makes your gun heavier, makes you be able to bring it up slower. So I'm running, you know, all these other attachments that kind of counteract that, and dude, that 100 round mag is so clutch. And then obviously I run the commando foregrip. I think that is you know, probably one of the best ones in the game as well, and it happens to be like the first one you unlock. So, I mean, obviously recoil stabilization, aiming stability, and a very minimal, you know, movement speed penalty. This is one of my favorite setups, especially if I'm playing on a map like Euphrates Bridge where the spawns can be real hectic. Having that 100-round mag can be very, very beneficial. And just as a universal thing, I'm always running the high noon here. I'll just kind of cover this very briefly. I'm running the 357 long barrel, the lightweight trigger, the snake shot, obviously to make it the shotgun pistol, the stapled rear grip tape, and of course, sleight of hand. I think this is a pretty solid setup. You could probably throw in a Kimbo really if you wanted to, or something else like that, but this is kind of like my go-to, and it's probably the best secondary to use in the entire game. So I run this on all my classes, along with the proximity mines, and of course, the stim shot. So this stuff kind of stays universal for me. Up next here is going to be my Ram 7 Corruptor. This is an amazing, amazing gun. I think this is one of the best guns in the whole game. I am running the monolithic on here. I have the XRK Ranger barrel, so this is the Vlast barrel. Increase your damage range, your bullet velocity, and recoil control, but it does affect your movement speed and your ADS speed negatively. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to rush around super balls to the wall with this thing, but it's super worth it to have that. You have the commando foregrip on there just to balance out that recoil control. The 50-round magazine used to be 45, then they kind of buffed it to 50. Don't know why they did that. Definitely didn't have to, but I'm not complaining. Extra 5 rounds in the mag, I'll take it. And then I'm running the stapled rear grip tape because obviously your sprint to fire speed and your ADS speed, you want to kind of be able to buff that up a little bit, especially since you have the XRK Ranger barrel on there, which does kind of negatively affect that stuff. And I'm not running a perk, stock, optic, or laser. I think iron sights are amazing, and this is an incredible setup. I've dropped so many gameplays of this thing, it's ridiculous. This is probably my favorite AR to use currently right now, so guys, if you aren't using this thing, you should definitely give it a shot. Now we have my Casanova P90. Let's go right here. So this, I've kind of swapped back and forth between doing a couple different combinations, but we start off with a suppressor, monolithic like usual. For the barrel, you can run the Forge Tac Retribution or the FSS 10.6 Pro. I have the 10.6 Pro, but I have had really good luck with the Forge Tac. It just kind of makes the gun look a little bit ugly when you have this pink variant on there, so that's kind of not like the best, but you can run really either or of them. It doesn't matter too much. I like the Forge Tac. I like both the other barrel too. I'll just leave the Forge Tac on there for right now. You have the stapled grip tape just for recoil control and your aiming stability purposes. More rear grip tape just for your aim down sight speed, your sprint to fire speed, because this is going to be a pretty aggressive SMG type of gun. And then we run fully loaded, and I don't normally run fully loaded, but because this gun burns through ammo so dang quick and has such a fast fire rate that I feel like I need fully loaded. I don't feel like I need it as much on the BIZON, but the P90, I just really feel like I need it. So no stock, no optic, no laser. This is what I'm running, and I dropped an amazing gameplay with it that you guys can see on the channel. So yeah, this is an amazing setup. Up next, we have my Cold Forge M13. This is a really good gun as well. They buffed it recently. I liked it beforehand. I dropped my first ever nuke in Modern Warfare with the M13, and yeah, so I'm running the monolithic suppressor here. I have the Tempest Marksman barrel. I love getting that extra range, you know, the damage range, your bullet velocity, and your recoil control. I'll take a little bit ADS speed and movement speed penalties for the sake of making my bullets, you know, travel faster, hit harder, and just having better recoil control. Like, I'll definitely take that. Commando foregrip is always the 60-round magazine. You can run the 50 or the 300-round blackout, or the, I don't really know what you call it. I mean, I'm never gonna run that stuff. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I probably won't, so I'm gonna keep at the 60-round. Stapled rear grip tape, obviously you got an ADS a little bit faster, and then no perk, no stock, optic, or a laser. This is my preference here. The iron sights are really good. I don't think you need a iron sight, or like I don't think you need like a red dot or something, but you could definitely take off, let's say, the Tempest Marksman barrel or something and throw in an optic if you really wanted to, or the stapled rear grip tape. But I kind of like having the grip tape on there, so personal preference. I love this setup, and I think it's super good. Up next is going to be my Scar, aka the Traitor variant. And as you guys can see, I am running Specialist on this class setup. I've been kind of experimenting with Specialist here a little bit, so the Scar kind of works for that pretty well, and that's why my class is maybe a little more tailored towards it. But I am going to be running the monolithic suppressor here, the Commando foregrip, which I really actually like running on this gun. The 25-round mag, I do have the 30 round, so I guess I'll throw in the 30 30 round, because I should probably have that. I haven't used the SCAR here in just a quick minute. The Discipled rear grip tape, which I absolutely love running for the sake of the ADS speed and all that stuff, sprint to fire speed. This gun's a little bit slower like that, so you kind of need that. Then you can run the F-TAC collapsible stock, but if I'm not running specialist, I will take off that stock and I will throw on something like fully loaded, because fully load, you need it with this gun. If you're not getting scavenger, if you don't have scavenger on your class, you're gonna run out of bullets like after 2 kills. Just because it comes in like 60 rounds, 20 round default mag or something like that. It's just, there's not a lot of ammo with this gun. So fully loaded, if you're not running scavenger, and if you are running scavenger, you can probably deal with having the F-TAC and making it a little bit more mobile. This is gonna be my preferred setup. The iron sights on this thing are beautiful. They always have been for every single SCAR and every Call of Duty. So this is a pretty interesting class setup. I don't use it too often, but when I do, I always end up shredding with it. So if you don't use the SCAR, I would definitely recommend checking it out. So up next here, we have my Golden Dragon AK-47. This is the Gold Dragon variant, obviously. I have the tactical suppressor on here, actually, because I just don't quite have the monolithic unlocked. I'm only just like a level or 2 away, so I'll definitely be swapping that on there. So obviously monolithic, but right now I got the tactical. I have the RPK barrel, just because I think that's, really good. Obviously, for all my ARs and stuff, I like them to be able to have, that damage range, velocity, recoil control, and you need that recoil control with the AK especially. You really do need it. The Commando foregrip, I've thought about running something else, like let's say the Merc foregrip or the Operator or the Ranger, but just having your aim down sight speed be penalized more is just not to your advantage with the AK. So if you can learn to control the recoil, then you'll be really well off. I love having the 75 round drum magazine, because I think this is absolutely amazing. This is super awesome. I love running this. Having 75 rounds in your mag is dope. I mean, the bigger the magazine I can get, the better on all my ARs. Then I have the Discipled rear grip tape, obviously help the aim down sight speed. That's a huge factor in this game, so gotta have that. And then you could of course run a stock, a perk, an optic, a laser if you really want to, but this is my current 5 attachment setup, and I think it works beautifully. I could probably fine-tune this just a tad bit more, but for right now, this is what I love running, and I would highly suggest you guys slap this on there as well. If you don't use the AK very often, definitely level it up. It's well worth it. Now we have a new DLC weapon, aka the GRAU 5.56. So let's check this out here. So monolithic, like usual, we have the FFS 20.8 Nexus barrel, the last one you get. Obviously, you guys know the reasoning behind it, as I've explained. The perks and everything of having these type of barrels on your guns. Then the Commando foregrip, a 60 round magazine, and then the XRK Void 2 Discipled rear grip tape, aka helps your ADS speed, all that stuff. This is basically like an M4 V2. So if you guys have ever wanted to use the M4 without using the M4, then basically slap this setup on and you'll have another M4. It's kind of like that. It's really solid, and it definitely rivals the M4 and the RAM as being one of the top, assault rifles in the game. It's pretty cool because it is a DLC gun and everybody can get it, and it is really good. Sometimes DLC guns aren't that great, more or less like the Striker 45. I think the thing is absolutely terrible. So for this gun to be really good and DLC, that's awesome. Definitely check this setup out. So moving on to my final setup here, aka the Flood MP5. Let's get into this. Monolithic suppressor. I don't have a barrel, a laser sight, an optic, or a stock, but I am running fully loaded on this just because I feel like I run out of ammo oh so fast with this thing. The Discipled rear grip tape, just to be able to ADS a little bit faster. You can run the 45 round mag or the 30 round magazine here with the 10mm ammunition. I like to swap this in and out interchangeably just because it's personal preference really. Sometimes like having 45 rounds and dealing with maybe an extra bullet to kill, and other times I like having just the 30 round mag. It's kind of really up in the air for me. It really just depends on how I'm feeling that day. But then I also like running the Merc foregrip, and that's just because it does help with my hip fire accuracy, and bringing your gun up to hip fire, especially with the MP5, is super beneficial. So make sure you guys slap this on there. You can run really any grip, to be honest with you, but I love having that hip fire fire accuracy being top notch. I mean, it's really unparalleled. If you can hip fire with this gun and get some kills up close, I mean, you know, this is what the gun is designed for, is just close quarters combat. So keeping yourself lethal at that close range to your utmost potential is to your, you know, your benefit. You can also swap out, let's say, fully loaded for, like, you know, sleight of hand or maybe a stock or something else like that, or even maybe if you wanted to roll an optic or a laser sight. But this is my MP5 setup, and this is just my setup that I use whenever I play all my 10v10 maps, because that's what I specialize in, is 10v10 and, you know, the occasional ground war. But I like playing, you know, the larger scale game modes where there's gonna be a lot of people and I can get a lot of kills. So those are my top 10 setups here in all of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys slap a like on it. Hope you guys get some, you know, good games out of this. I've gotten a lot of really awesome gameplay. You guys can go check out any of those on my channel. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button with those notifications on. I really would appreciate all you guys hitting that subscribe button. With that being said, I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow with yet another brand new video. Just watch Triple Cap, don't be Randy.